What's going on, friends? I've got here a 2012 Nissan Altima, and I'm using this car to show you how to replace your stop lamp switch or your brake light switch. You may have to do this if your brake lights aren't coming on or if you're not able to put your car into gear. Now, before we start replacing stuff, let's first check the stop lamp switch. That's easy enough to do because it's right behind this cover, which we just pull straight down. Now, the stop lamp switch provides power to your brake switch from this 10 amp fuse right here. So let's go and pop this out so we can see that this is what a good fuse looks like. You can see that the wires inside the fuse are intact, and again, that lives right here. Now, when that fuse is working properly, power from that fuse will go into your brake light switch, which your car actually has two of them, but the one that's used for the brake lights is the one that's on the left, and the power comes in on this red wire. When you press the brake, the whole lever moves down, and the switch will then take the power from the red wire and send it through the green wire. Now, if you want to remove this, you just grab this whole assembly and you rotate it counterclockwise about 45 degrees, maybe a little less, and it will come out like so. From here, you can push the button on the connector and your switch will come out. Inspect the pins on the connector for corrosion or see if they're burnt. You can do so on the switch as well. And if you want to test to see if the switch is bad, what you can do is take a paper clip and connect the pins for the red and the green wire. So you connect those two pins, and if your lights come on at that point and they did not before, then you know that your switch is bad. On the other hand, if you connect those pins together and your lights don't come on, then you know there's a problem elsewhere. Now, if you're installing a new brake light switch, you go ahead and connect it to the connector. At this point, because the plunger is out, the brake lights should be on now. It's only after you install the connector or install the switch, you push it down and then you rotate it clockwise to lock it into position. Your brake light should be off at that point because the plunger is depressed. Now, be careful because you can install this incorrectly. Right here, the switch is not fully inserted, so the brake lights would be on even when you're not hitting the brakes. So that's it for the switch. Now, there are actually two relays that work together to control the brake lights. Those relays get activated when you hit the brakes, when that brake light switch gets triggered. So let's pop this cover off under the hood. We lift up on this tab in the front, push this tab rearward forward. This whole piece comes out like so. Now, the two relays, they're identified here as stop lamp relay 1 and shift lock relay / stop lamp relay number 2. It's hard to see. Where are they? I don't know. It's not any of these relays. You can only see them if you look underneath this piece. So we've got to push the tabs in here and here, lift up. Even now, it's really difficult to see down in there. I could really only see by taking these off, pulling this out of the way, and then we can finally see the relays down there. So I went ahead and removed the stop lamp relay number 2. You can see that's where it was. The relay in front of it is stop lamp relay number 1, and the relay next to that, that's radiator fan relay number 2. I have the relay here if you want to take a look at it. When this relay is activated, it connects the two larger poles here, the two larger pins, which if you look on this part, I've painted them yellow. So if you want to bypass the relay, you can connect those two pins on the left, you can connect them yourself and see if that results in your brake lights coming on. Now let's move to the back of the car. This will be probably the most useful thing for you because most of the time when your brake lights don't work, it's because of the bulb. So let me show you how to access the bulb here. So inside the trunk with needle nose, you grab this, pull it straight out, and then you grab this piece and yank it out. At that point, you can peel this felt forward, and you've got to pop these electrical pieces out. There are two 8mm nuts that you unscrew. At that point, this whole assembly will come outwards, not backwards, not sideways, but outwards. There's a number of plastic pieces that pop into the body, and so you have to be mindful to not break those. It's helpful to pull it out with a plastic non-marring tool. They call it a trim removal tool. They sell them at Harbor Freight, but this one is pretty loose. Rotate it out, and you can see these are the little plastic bits that I was talking about. Those go into these areas on the body of the car, and this is where the nuts were screwed into. Now your brake light bulb is going to be part number 3157. You remove it like so by rotating it counterclockwise, and then you pop the bulb itself out. Sometimes it can be stuck in there. Anyways, with the bulb removed, use this opportunity to inspect the pins. Make sure that they're free of corrosion and not burnt. And when you install your new bulb, you can put dielectric grease on that connector to try to protect it for the future. And pop the bulb back in. Got to line it up just right. And carefully reinstall this. Everything's got to line up just right, so take your time, don't force it. Try not to break anything. But yeah, that's that. And you'll know it's lined up properly when you see the studs coming back through. But yeah, I hope that this information was helpful for you. Please do let me know down below if you have any questions or any advice about the brake lights on your Nissan Altima.